Thus, we are committed to addressing gender-based violence through awareness-raising activities, social empowerment, psychosocial support through peer-to-peer support in our coffee sessions, advancing women's economic empowerment and advocacy.
We are doing lots of advocacy to change stereotypes, popular beliefs, formulas and policies that reinforce unequal power as well as increase violence against women.
We have created a support group for information sharing. We have domestic violence lines that members call in to inform us of violations that they have experienced, and we provide support, psychosocial but also legal, to our members.
ZOVIP is focusing on preventing intimate partner violence. It is working to inspire activism to change social norms by engaging individual and interpersonal circles of influence, to balance power in relationships and community leadership to influence norms and enable reduction in the tolerance of violence against women by community members and leaders. It's also working to improve relationships between women and men and inspire community members to join efforts to collectively prevent violence in their neighborhoods. ZOVIP is also advocating at national level for law reform and implementation to enhance political will to enact and amend laws, but also to ensure that resources are allocated and there is implementation of these laws to protect survivors of violence and to hold perpetrators accountable.
FIDA Kenya has two main programs that we work under. The first one is the Access to Justice program that focuses a lot on the litigation aspect and access to justice being a reality for Kenyan girls, women and families. The second program at FIDA Kenya is ensuring that the space of women in leadership, individually and collectively, is realized.
Whereby we rolled out a toll-free line, which covers survivors of violence who call in for help. One of the help that we roll out to such women include legal representation, psychosocial support, mediation. So in advocacy, one of the things we've been doing is ensuring that there is push for policy, regulation and law. We've been doing grassroots mobilization through the women's rights movement.
First program is the provision of free legal aid service for victim women and children. The second program is the public education and capacity building, and the third program is the research and advocacy, especially on the law reform.
So FEDO has been working to reduce the caste and gender-based discrimination of Dalit women and girls by encouraging and empowering them through various leadership development trainings, workshop, meetings and exposures, to providing them platform where they can explore their ideas and experience to build their capacity. FEDO has been working on ensuring the access to justice of all the unheard voices by pressurizing the government and other concerned authorities.
But as Nowodu, we work so hard to prevent and respond the GBV cases through advocacy, through capacity building, community sensitization, and also the use of paralegal and local advocacy methods or approach. Building of partnership and also networking. At individual level, we focus on the empowerment of individuals, of women with disabilities, in that they can understand themselves and raise their self-esteem to see that they have the ability to end gender-based violence in their lives, and also to claim for their rights.
Writing position papers and parallel reports on different processes that will be happening globally. And we also engage in different platforms, nationally, regionally, and globally. We have also created safe space for dialogue where the LGBTQ persons come together and share their stories.
I've helped to create spaces where young girls and women are constantly taking part in sport and using that to strengthen their minds and bodies and to create conversation. We use such spaces to talk about violence against girls and women, and also come up with strategies on how best we can protect each other and protect ourselves. We've also come up with strategies on how best we can speak to our lived realities in terms of abuse and how best we can then strategize going forward to make sure that every girl, every woman is safe and protected.
Over the past 20 years, we are working with women at the grassroots, women in groups, already established groups, which has resulted into creation of safe spaces for women at community level to be able to have conversations, you know, on domestic violence, conversations on sexual violence. We all know that all these cases escalated with the pandemic of the COVID-19 pandemic, escalated most of these cases.
One of the case program is self-help group formation, where the women get together and save some amount of money for the purpose of economic and social empowerment. Part of this program is, again, training on gender issues, gender equality, violence against women, and harmful traditional practices. Through this, the women learn what it means, violence means, what harmful traditional practices means. So they got awareness on that and started resisting this act in general, and they became advocates of women's rights.
Polycom has been involved in mapping sexual harassment of girls and women in public spaces. We engage young women in various conversations about understanding themselves, managing themselves positively, and involving, or rather mentoring, young girls to be able to take good care of themselves. Polycom works with adolescent girls through schools, where young women known as mentors talk to these girls and bring them to speak about issues that they don't talk about. We have this project called the Talking Boxes, where we have locked up boxes installed in schools. Young girls are encouraged to write whatever they want to share through the Talking Boxes. Recently, we have been engaged in mapping sexual harassment in public spaces, and we managed to come up with this policy evidence report, which is currently being discussed at our county assembly and in various platforms. The young women we call mentors are able to talk to girls who are affected by the different forms of sexual harassment. The girls now understand themselves and are able to speak up.
We empower women and girls with disabilities on their rights, especially when it comes to preventing and responding to violence. We also give them strategies on how to prevent and respond to violence. We are also building capacity of service providers on the different needs of women and girls with disabilities when it comes to service provision. And this enables the service providers to handle cases of violence in a more inclusive manner.
We are working with the local community, and we've identified women leaders at community level. We have strengthened their capacity. We are looking at the aspect of joining power together to dismantle what we cannot handle at individual level, or to achieve greater change.
We raise awareness on different forms of violence that exist, and we are also relating this to the Termination of Pregnancy Act, where under the Act, women who have suffered sexual violence which results in unwanted pregnancies are eligible for termination of pregnancy. Movement building for people to really come together and fight against gender-based violence. We also do our work through transformative dialogues, particularly the negative social norms which exist in our communities.